Okay, so just to give you guys a quick bit of an origin story, I grew up in the US, but once I finished college, I went to China for 2 years. So I lived in China. I traveled all over Asia and ate all the food and kind of like wasn't, I don't know, there's a lot of food I probably shouldn't have eaten while I was there, and I wasn't like super careful about that stuff. So once I got back and started researching more about health, I started seeing signs. Like, for example, I had a kind of a persistent rash that would pop up every once in a while. And then no matter what I did, it was there. It was very itchy. And then it would go away. And then a couple years later, it would pop up somewhere else. Right. And so I was like, what is this rash? Like, it was just like usually a small spot, but it would drive me nuts. And I was like, what is this? And what is like the reason for this? Right. So then I started researching and finding that persistent rashes can be a sign of parasites. And so I started researching into parasites and found that we basically all have them, right? And I know that since I lived in Asia and, wasn't super careful about like the things that I ate while I was there, that I probably was exposed to a lot of things, right? But the fact is, it doesn't matter if you've been out of the country. It doesn't matter if you've lived in third world countries or in Asia or Africa or wherever, or in America your entire life, because we all have parasites. That's what I found conclusively in my research. We all have parasites. Part of the misconception is the definition of a parasite, because parasites are, like, by definition, they are something like an organism that is not part of us, that comes in, steals our nutrients, and harms us in return. So basically, excretes toxins into our bloodstream after eating our food, right? So we also have symbiotic good bacteria and organisms in our body that are basically, they eat the food that we don't eat, like fiber. So stuff that we don't digest and we don't take nutrients from, they eat that, and they actually excrete beneficial compounds into our bodies, such as B vitamins, stuff like that, right? So that's a bit of a misconception, because some people say, oh, some parasites are good, some parasites are digesting our toxins, they're helping us. No, by definitions, parasites don't help us. Parasites are by definition harmful to humans. So that's a little bit of a misconception, and I've even seen doctors say stuff like that. So that bothers me a little bit. But anyway, that's kind of the results of my research, and I definitely want to in the future go forward showing different types of parasite cleanses I've done. Pretty much they're all very simple, very easy to do, and very inexpensive. So I'm going to go through them one by one, and then you can decide which ones you want to start with and how you want to combine them yourself.